should have a theme song, like yakety sax.
The lead up.
All right.
They usually do that on podcasts.
Always do?
Playing
Yeah,
like,
they
a
would.
few minutes before it starts, then the actual lead
Realize?
in song.
Okay. That would be cool. That'd be like ultra high tech.
Might be stretch.
We could do Ride Along in our Merry Oldsmobile or something like that.
There you go.
An original song. That's up to you.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
Let me call the Tuesday, March 1st, 2022 Oldsmar City Council meeting to order. The first two items on the agenda are the invocation and pledge of allegiance, which is led by our city attorney, Mr. Tom Trask. I would ask, though, before he starts the invocation, that we take just a moment to pray or whatever your views are for those folks who are under attack in the Ukraine. I think they need our prayers. They need a lot more. So let's have a moment of silent meditation for them if we can.
Tom? Thank you. Our Heavenly Father, send down your blessing on this meeting of the City Council and upon the individual members who comprise it. Give the council members a clear sense of duty and lead them to a faithful discharge of the same. Direct them in their deliberations at this meeting so that all things may be done for the health, safety, and welfare of the people of Oldsmar. This we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Next item on the agenda is the Citizens Open Forum. We only have a few guidelines that we give you. One, we ask that you not speak longer than 5 minutes. We ask you give your address, and please include your city. We have no public hearings on the agenda tonight, so you can speak about anything you'd like. And I'm going to go ahead and start on this side of the room. Yes, sir.
Hi, Mark Howe, 508 Pine Avenue South, Chamber President and CEO. For your communication and in light of the upcoming election, I'd like to address a concern, potential conflict regarding the BAP agreement. The current verbiage is proposed to change actually the name of the BIP person from the Chamber. Section B of this section entitled Obligation of the Chamber currently reads as follows. Name a business assistant specialist who will be dedicated to a minimum of 16 hours weekly to perform a program purpose and obligations in accordance to the direction of the city manager or designatee. The business assistant specialist will meet at least twice a month with the city manager or designee. Currently, there is no specific person named as the business assistant specialist. However, if Mr. Beavis wins the election, then Joe Almer will actually be named business assistant specialist. He is currently the business advocate. This change will become effective as soon as the elections are known, the results are known. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Okay.
No?
Is there anybody else on this side of the room?
Doug Beavis, 359 Bay Arbor Boulevard, beautiful city of Oldsmar, Florida. And I think Mr. Howe just addressed kind of the BAP and the conflict of interest that has been mentioned. I just want to add this, that I don't think anybody can question my passion for the city prior to me being on council and when I was on city council. And I can tell you, I just basically reached my 2-year anniversary working with the chamber. And I couldn't be more proud of the work that we do at the chamber in conjunction with the city. And I certainly would never do anything that's a conflict of interest to the city or myself or the Chamber of Commerce. I think some of the great things that we as a chamber have been able to do is weather the storm of COVID and help our businesses. I think that we have continued with the events that we have in the city. In fact, we have grown them. We've added Second Friday. I myself have worked with a couple of our chamber members on the employee retention credit program that, from what I am understanding, that within our chamber footprint, but obviously also within the city, our businesses are slated to get back $1 million. I think those are all good things that this chamber does. And I would challenge anybody to find anything that I've ever done that is not in the best interest of this city or our business community or our residents. And so I think our relationship with the chamber and the city is probably as strong as it's ever been. And I think we work excellent together. I obviously won't be able to go on We Mean Business anymore because of more so because of the Sunshine Law that you can't have, as you can't now currently have 2 sitting council members on a visit like that. But I'll certainly be involved in trying to help our business community as best as I can. So know that I have it in the best interest of my heart, this city and our chamber and our residents. So thank you, Mayor. And I'm not staying because I'm going to the gala and I have a tuxedo jacket.
Nice, nice. For those of you who don't know, the Friends of the Arts having their Mardi Gras event right next to the library right now. So some of us went early, some are leaving right now. What's that? I don't blame them. All right, anybody on this side of the room? Come on up. And we have do we have the PowerPoint queued? Yes, there you go.
Tony Gross, 711 Santonleaf Avenue, and my husband, Craig Gross, also of the same address. I'm here to bring 2 items to your attention. The first one is Craig and I want to thank each one of you for supporting us over the weekend, providing a beautiful waterfront setting there at the park with the tribute to the troops riders, as you can see in the pictures that are going through. We just want to thank you for all the support that you've given us by waiving the fees, which would have been more than the tribute to the troops folks could afford, and just providing for us a wonderful location, a beautiful weekend. And as you can see, we just had a very, very good time. So thank you so much. That's why Oldsmar certainly earns Purple Heart City, very veteran-friendly oriented, and we just appreciate the fact that you support our Gold Star families, all 4 of them, I believe. So that's the first item. The second item is when we were doing our ceremony at the park, we would like to request that, when we were doing the ceremonies, one of the riders stepped off the white step there, and she fell down and hurt herself badly. And upon talking with someone else who was a resident, she had seen what had happened, and she said that recently there was a wedding there, and the bride almost fell off.
You know where we're talking about? No. When you walk
from the obelisk towards the gazebo.
When you go past the obelisk,
yeah,
and you keep walking straight, there's a step down.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Right after the first row of bricks. Mm-hmm. And this lady fell hard. Mm-hmm. And then we heard about this wedding that had gone on, and supposedly this bride had almost fallen down. Now, I don't know if that...
Right.
So we would like either...
Yeah, there's a picture
that you would consider either putting 2 signs on the side that say, please watch your step, or perhaps painting the white brick border just before you step off, maybe yellow or something, because this has happened before, and we don't want our city to get sued.
Right, right. Yeah, and I think it's one of those things we're definitely going to have somebody take a look at. Yeah. I can tell you, I've tripped coming over there before.
I've done it too.
Yeah, because you're not paying attention, and yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So it's a spot that needs to be addressed, and we know that bringing it up to you, it will be taken care of. But thank you so much for providing with the Gold Star families this beautiful venue. It was a very touching day.
Just to tell you real quickly, the gentleman in the middle there, his name is Rocky Lynn. He was Tanya Tucker's lead guitarist for 10 years. Wow. He is one of the most sought after guitarists in Nashville as far as soundtracking, and he has written dozens of songs himself. He sold songs to Blake Shelton and all these other big rock stars and, Western stars. And he has asked me to come to, Tony and I, to come to North Carolina to record my song, They Buried My Son in Arlington. He wants to publish it and produce it. So that was a good thing. And they just loved Oldsmar. I think they're ready to move here.
Good.
He's the president and founder of Tribute to the Troops. He was orphaned as a child. He grew up in an orphanage. When he was old enough to leave, he joined the Army.
Was a Green Beret.
Was a veteran in the Army, and he just felt he wanted to give back. And so he started this organization, Tribute to the Troops, to honor families of the fallen. And then 3 years ago, he met his biological father, and they lived like 2 miles from each other. So it was just a blessing. He's a wonderful person.
And his father, by the way, now Rocky's a professional guitarist and a biker.
Right.
His father was a professional guitarist and a biker.
Amazing.
Rocky was talking to his dad. His dad was in hospice, was in a coma. And Rocky was talking to him. He said, I had to talk to my dad. And he said, Dad, I think I'm going to cancel my trip.
Last Thursday.
Last Thursday. I'm going to cancel my trip to Florida. Just talking to his dad, even though his dad's eyes were closed. And he said, I'm going to cancel that trip and stay here with you because I don't think you're going to make it through the weekend. His dad opened his eyes and said, you go. And he closed his eyes and went to heaven.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. It's a great story.
Thank you all, but I also want to introduce Emily, who has been a resident for 15 years, Gull Air Village. She wanted to come tonight to meet everyone here.
Oh, wow. First city
First
council
city council meeting.
Well, welcome. 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 We're glad you're here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Photos.
Yep. I'm perfect. All right, do we have anybody else on this side of the room? Seeing none, I'm going to go ahead and close the Citizens Open Forum. Next item on the agenda is the Community Minute, which will be announced by our City Clerk, Ann Nixon.
Bring the mic up. I've been told I have a quiet voice by somebody very smart, Daniel. Oldsmar in orbit. Launch date March 5th, Olds Park at 10 o'clock a.m. Former NASA astronaut Nicole Stott will help launch this pop-up art project. The Oldsmar in orbit Planet Walk begins at the sun sign inside Olds Park. Each planetary sign is placed proportionately to its actual distance from the sun. You can stroll to the nearest inner planets, placed Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars from the sun. Placed unit. Okay, well, you can learn a lot more than I know or could read just by going there. And the really cool thing is it has a feature of augmented reality. Right? So you can watch each planet come to life in a 3D format by downloading the free ROAR app, mobile app from the Apple Store or Google Play, and you can learn a whole lot more at oldsmarinorbit.com. So that's this Saturday. And speaking of out of this world experiences, we have the election, of course, coming up on March 15th.
Out of this world or out of body?
And well, on Saturday is the deadline for requesting a mail-in ballot. And of course, there's no early voting at the library. So if you get a mail ballot, you need to get it in the mail and try to get it a week ahead before the election. And also, March 22nd, 6 o'clock in here, we'll have a canvassing board for the final results of that election. And of course, following will be our city council meeting. And as my grandpa would say, that's the community minute. Well, he wouldn't say that part, but he would say this: such as it is and what there is of it.
Very good. Very good. I like it. She always puts a little stuff in the guy, you know that?
She does.
Very good. All right, next item on the agenda is the approval of addition of new agenda items. We only have one new agenda item, which would be item 1. The chair will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
A motion to second. Any discussion? Sensing you're ready to vote, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes. And we have nothing under awards and recognition tonight, so we'll go right into our Community Redevelopment Agency. And the first item on the agenda is going to be presented by our city council. I was going to say city council, mayor, what? City manager. Felicia.
Thank you, Mayor. Presentation of the essential terms of a proposed development agreement between Devon Rushnell LLC and the City of Oldsmar for city-owned property located adjacent to the public library, and further direct the city manager to host 3 public open houses. On October 6, 2020, the City Council authorized the city manager to enter into negotiations with Devin Rushnell for the purposes of entering into a development agreement for city-owned property located at the intersection of State Street East and St. Petersburg Drive, adjacent to the Oldsmar Public Library. On February 11, 2021, John Buse presented a proposed conceptual plan at the Community Redevelopment Work Session for the city-owned property. At that meeting, direction was given to submit a revised proposal. On April 6, 2021, the City Council approved a revised conceptual plan and authorized the city manager to begin negotiations. On February 1st, 2022, the City Council approved another version of the conceptual plan, presenting the enlargement of the theater site, reduction of the development to 82 units, orientation of the units to promote walkability and new urbanism concepts, and overall architecture changes. In accordance to the city's Land Development Code, Section 14.7, the essential terms and conditions in outline form are presented to the City Council as follows. The purchase price, $2.8 million for 6.22 acres. The city shall retain 0.74 acre parcel adjacent to the public library. The developer responsibilities. Number 1, a performance bond and the amount of the cost of improvements. Number 2, payment of all applicable impact fees. Item 3, construction, landscaping, and maintenance of public space, including within the city's right-of-way along St. Petersburg Drive and State Street, and public space will include a piece of public art. Number 4, provision of access and maintenance easements is required for public utilities. Number 5, relocation of the city's water main to the west side of St. Petersburg Drive. Number 6, performance of all site due diligence, including but not limited to any additional surveys and environmental assessments. Number 7, replat of the existing parcels of lands. Number 8, all site work, including but not limited to the demolition or relocation of existing structures. Number 9, buy-in to the city's stormwater system. Number 10, connect the project to the city's reclaimed water system. Number 11, submission of a final site plan, including a signage and landscape plan through the city's formal review process. Number 12, obtain all required permits. Number 13, demonstration of concurrency and submission of a concurrency test statement as required by the city's Land Development Code. Number 14, demonstration of compliance to the Town Center Code, including but not limited to the architectural design and pattern book. There are a couple of proposed design exceptions or variances. The first one is the driveway flares will be constructed as shown on the concept plan. Number 2, the setbacks to the driveways will be constructed as shown on the conceptual plan. Number 3, buildings 5, 6, and 7 are tandem garages with 8.67 width of driveways as shown on the conceptual plan. Number 4, the promenade steps in the right-of-way to meet existing sidewalks. That's buildings 1, 2, and 3. As this is city-owned property in the CRA, if this item is approved by the City Council, the city will host 3 public open houses to present the conceptual plan and the essential terms to the public. City staff will create a list of the public comments received at the open houses for the City Council's review and consideration. The open houses are tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, March 23rd from 6 to 8 p.m. at Tico Hall at the Oldsmar Public Library, Thursday, March 24th from 1 to 3 p.m. at the Gullair Village Clubhouse, and Saturday, March 26th from 9 to 11 a.m. at the Cypress Forest Recreation Center. After the open houses, the City Council shall review the essential terms of the development agreement and the public comments from the open houses, and shall, if it determines to proceed further with the completion of the development agreement, direct the city attorney to reduce the said development terms to contractual form for further consideration. Staff recommends approval.
All right. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Discussion?
My questions were answered during my meeting with Felicia, so nothing from me, Mayor.
Okay. Councilmember Siraki?
Mayor, I'm actually kind of excited about this. I'm looking forward to hear what the public has to say. I just hope we have a large turnout. Felicia, thank you for all your hard work in getting this done.
Vice Mayor?
I do really appreciate, setting up this new format for getting some public input because, you know, as we've all heard or learned, you know, they feel like their voices may not be heard. So getting that feedback mechanism established so that there's something that can be funneled to us and be dealt with in advance of public hearing meetings, I think is really going to benefit our work up here as well as them getting their voices heard. So I'm really pleased with that.
Very good. Councilmember Gannon.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, just a couple things that I think are particularly important. The public meetings, as a couple people have mentioned already, are important. And I think part of that can be helping folks understand the developer's responsibilities on this list, which are critical, and also the absence of a list of the city's responsibilities, which I think is important as well. This potential is big. I went back and did the math and saw what we bought some of this property for and the current just market valuation and the amount that the city potentially could earn from this transaction could go a little ways toward building a community theater. And I think that's a great return on investment for our city. I think the valuation is important. The performance bond is important so that we have a fully completed project and not a project that is halfway done and then cannot be completed for whatever reason. I think it's also important that folks understand when the traffic and modality kind of studies and the environmental impact studies around item number 13 under the developer's responsibilities. I think that, you know, people want to know, wow, that's a responsibility, what does that mean? You know, and so I think it'll be great to have city staff available at those public town halls or open houses to give more detail as to those projects. So that's all I have. I'm excited about this project.
Very good, thank you. Yeah, I just have a few things. I, like yourself, note the fact that we spent just over 1.9 million on the property, and right now the price at 2.8. So clearly it was a good investment for the city. Plus, we're retaining part of the property in order to have space for what we all believe will be the Black Box Theater. That's like a 40%, 44% return. The impact fees, the landscaping and maintenance to the public spaces. There's a lot of details in this agreement, or potential agreement, I should say, or the essential terms that have a lot of value to the city and the taxpayers. The performance bond is a big deal. It protects us in case we end up in a situation where we have a developer, not that I think we have this situation with who we're working with. You hear the horror stories about people running out of money, and all of a sudden you've got a halfway finished building there. So that's a really important issue for us as a board up here. I do have one thing that I would like to have discussed that I hope comes back in the development agreement. I hope that one of the things that gets discussed is the potential of adding electric vehicle charging stations on the public spaces. I think that this is a trend that we should prepare for. And while anytime we get into the scenario we have some kind of mass development, that we should take that into account moving forward. Personally, I think it might be something we should come back and look at as part of some of our planning codes. But I'd throw that out there as something that would make a lot of sense. Outside of that, those are really the only main comments. I look forward to the feedback. I'm glad that we've added that to the process so that it gives everyone an opportunity to ask questions, not just be able to make comments, because you still have the public hearings that we'll go through, but it allows for interaction, which is something that would certainly benefit everybody who's interested in it. So if there's nothing else, sensing you're ready to vote, I would go ahead and I'll do a roll call.
Councilmember Graber?
Yes.
Councilmember Saraki?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Knapp?
Yes.
Councilmember Gannon?
Yes.
Mayor Seidel?
Yes.
Request to authorize or direct the city manager to hold 3 public houses for the development agreement is approved with 5 votes for and 0 against.
Thank you. All right, next item on the agenda, item number 2.
Authorize the advertisement of the invitation to bid 2022-012-ITB electric meter retrofitting. The first phase of the St. Petersburg Drive Complete Streets project is to place all the electric and private utilities underground. The utility relocations are planned to precede the city Complete Streets project. The main power lines will be placed underground in the future by Tampa Electric Company, TECO. In order to place the electric power underground, the private electric meter cans must be changed from upward facing to downward facing. The city is seeking bids to retrofit 11 residential, 10 duplex, and 9 triplex electric meters. The scope of the project is to remove existing overhead meter socket cans and reinstall new overhead underground meters. The electrician will permit, install meter sockets or cans, related breakers, and all necessary equipment for the homeowners to connect to the TECO underground power. Appropriations for the St. Petersburg Drive Streetscape and Drainage Improvement Project are budgeted in the CRA fund. Staff recommends approval.
All right, the chair will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a motion, I have a second.
Second.
Motion to second, discussion? Nice to get that stuff buried, wasn't it? Yep. All right, since you're ready to vote, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. Next item on the agenda, consent docket, which will be read by our city clerk, Ann Nixon.
Item number 3, approve minutes of the February 15, 2022 council meeting.
You did a really good job with that, just
Thank you.
very quick,
Well
right
done.
to it. Carol, entertain a motion to approve?
So moved.
I have a motion, I have a second, I have a motion and a second, discussion. Sensing you're ready to vote, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. Next on the agenda, City of Oldsmar, item number 4, history presentation by former Mayor Jerry Beverland. Thank you, Mayor, come on up. And Miss Wanda.
The beautiful Wanda.
First of all, I want to say thank you all for, I know the mayor's, he's nervous, I won't talk for 2 hours, but I won't.
I just point out that. You know, I appreciate you doing this, but I also point out that you do it at a time when it's not timed.
She's here, she
I
can
know,
time.
I'm teasing.
The,
1,000, 2,000.
things have really changed since I was elected in 1970. I mean, really changed. You know, we didn't have any downtown regulations at all. And we set up one night for 2 nights, all night long, reading the damn regulations for building in this city. And now we have open house. We have open house now. I mean,
We have 3 of them.
this is incredible. Anyway, I want to tell y'all just one thing, 2 things before I go into my dissertation. This is my beautiful sweetheart, Irish.
They know who I am. I don't know why I'm here, but I'm here.
Because you're my strength. We're going on about 67 years. Wow. Marriage. Anyway, you people are lucky. And I have to say this, I debated it first. You have an incredible city clerk.
Aw.
You have an incredible city attorney.
Thank you.
And you're about to have an incredible city manager. I have served a number of these people in the past. We've had about 3 or 4 city clerks. I'm going to say this, 2 of them I got fired. 2 of them I instigated to be fired. We had a city attorney that was worthless, and I told him that. And we ended up with the most incredible city attorney.
Is he still practicing law by any chance?
You know, from 1940 to 1945, you had 5 city managers. Did y'all know that? 5 city managers in 5 years.
Wow.
Then we got Bruce. And then
Al.
Al. You know, thank you. You all need to know how lucky you are. You really do. I want to thank this lady. First of all, I want to thank this lady. When we moved here 65 years ago, 66 years ago, you know, nobody knew who Ransom E. Olds was, nor cared, except Bud Lister. And Bud Lister was a historian to himself. He wouldn't share it with anybody else, but he shared it with me because I kept pestering him for it. Nobody knew the history of Oldsmar. None. Nothing. And Irish and I were kind of dumbfounded that how can you not have a history to your city? So we have spent 55 years, my sweetheart and me, and thousands and thousands and thousands of hours in research.
That's true.
Because we wanted this city to have a history. And it's got an incredible history, it really does. And this lady helped me so much in putting this history together to present it to y'all. Now, y'all may not read it, you may not look at it, and that's fine. You may not care about history, but I do. And I want to give you tonight the complete, and maybe once they're now fabricated, is that the right word? Pseudo history of Oldsmar. Enhanced history of Oldsmar. I have that right because I wrote it. And I can't, everybody knows that I can't remember names.
That's true.
I forgot her name on our first date and had to ask her what her name was.
True story.
I had to write it on a blackboard. I don't remember names and I cannot memorize. Okay. The lady, I guess your assistant, or what's her name?
Holly?
Holly.
Holly?
Well,
See, he
thanks.
doesn't remember names.
I don't. Holly designed every one of my books.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
I want to thank Bruce because he allowed me to use some of the staff. Holly designed every front page of the cover of all 4 of my books. Y'all are lucky to have these people. I want to ask you, and she has done a lot of work putting this junk together, which I could not. Well, I did the first part of it, but I told Bruce one time, he said, you got the visions. I said, oh, I may have all the visions in the world, but if I don't have anybody to take those visions out and make them, what good are they? I said, I use you to make the visions good. I used her to do all this work to get it to you people. The Tobago Indians, we have a great history of the Tobago Indians here. Safety Harbor had 3 camps. Oldsmar had 4 camps of Tobago Indians. In the 60s and the 70s of 200 years ago, we had a big hotel down here that REO was trying to build. We have a tap down there, a water tap, that probably I'm the only one in the world that knows where it is now, because we had it tapped down. It's in Veterans Park, and it's the same water that goes to Safety Harbor on their spa. We have the same water down there, and the tap is still there, it's just underneath the dirt now. Before I don't usually use notes, but I got a few notes here. Before 1950, every house in this town either had an in-ground
Septic?
Outhouse?
Septic.
or an outhouse before 1950. Before 1948, you had to drink water out of a tank that set with where the funeral home is now. I got a picture of the tank in there, by the way. That's how you got your water. In 1948, Bud Lister talked to the city of St. Petersburg. This is all in the books. Talked to St. Petersburg, and we tapped into St. Petersburg water, 1948. So we finally got some decent water. I got something. I'm gonna take credit for this. I will take credit for it. The land you're selling, you talked about a little while ago. There's 2.5 acres down there you would not own if it wasn't for me. Because he would not sell it to the city. And I talked to him, all that woods behind St. Pete Drive. I finally talked him into selling it to the city of Oldsmar for $225,000. So I'll take credit for that one. Okay. There's 110 acres in town that we annexed, and nobody on council knew anything about it. Even the mayor asked me about it. When we do that? 110 acres across, it's in the book, 110 acres across from the racetrack. And she would not annex to the city of Oldsmar. She thought we was a one-horse town, which we were back in those days. And after 1990, when I was elected to come back, there was an article in the newspaper that said, well, Oldsmar's finally grown up. I thought, hey, that's a good chance. I'll go talk to her. I had an opportunity to talk to her, Stella Thayer, and she says, well, we'll think about it. And another time I talked to her again. I said, you know, you're having a little problem with Pinellas County on the corner of Forest Lakes Boulevard and Racetrack Road. I said, you know, if you annex to the city of Oldsmar, we love you. Pinellas County doesn't care about you. Well, we'll think about it. And my sweetheart and I had a dinner with her, and I brought it up again very casually because, you know, she's a multi-billionaire, owns half of Florida. And a little time after that, her land attorney come to City Hall for some reason. I saw him and we talked about it twice. And after the second time, I told Bruce, I said, Bruce, prepare for Stella Thayer's land attorney to come to the city of Oldsmar and request annexation. And the council did not know a thing about it. And about 2 months later, he came in and asked for an annexation, 110 acres for the city of Oldsmar. Calculate that sometime for taxes. The 600 acres where Nielsen is was in the county, not the city of Oldsmar. And I had the opportunity, didn't I? To annex that 600 acres. And the Swerville Company would not do it. They didn't care about the city of Oldsmar. But something happened, it's in the book, that gave us the opportunity to annex that 680 acres. Somewhat intrigued. The county administrator accused me of blackmailing the Pinellas County. And I told him, yeah, I am. But you're taking all of our future away. Give us something in return. I got a few more things here, but I'll shut up. We do have a mammoth pit in town. If you go to the library, there's a big mammoth jaw in there that I give the library. It was dug here in the city of Oldsmar. In 1980, 3 council members went to the county commissioner to give Oldsmar to Pinellas County. These are things you don't know. It's in there. Had been for one city council member, Tom Likens. It would come up for referendum to put the city in Pinellas County and do away with the city of Oldsmar. And my grandson and my son caught sharks off in Orioles Park. Not that long. They called me up and said, "You better come down here." And they had caught 3 sharks that long. Anyway, that's my work right there. I won't go through these, Mayor, so don't. There's 9 of them here. Pictures, comments. Descriptions. You got a couple more, I think, too, that goes there, but they're not that stuff. They'll take it up.
Right, so all of those books are scanned on a handy dandy USB. We have 3 printed out sets. One set for council will be in the council's conference room in the city clerk's office. And then another set will be going to the library, and a set will be going to the Oldsmar Historical Society.
Outstanding,
We'll
outstanding.
go ahead and pass this out now.
You may not watch it, you may not care, but I cared, and my sweetheart and I spent thousands and thousands of hours doing this.
You know what? If you look at the people up here, and I think a lot of our citizens, it'll get watched. It will definitely get watched. And
Read all of the books at the library.
your
the books you donated to the
your work
library.
for the city, you've been doing it for so many years, and once again, you know, it lives on. Do you know what I mean by that? Your work will live on. And so thank you for doing this for our city.
Thank you for what you're gonna do to make it live on, because I've been in the sunshine a long time. I'm fading away.
Oh.
So I probably won't bother you all anymore.
What?
No.
No, wait.
Well, when you get 3 years,
Well, I call you part of the time anyhow, so.
when you get 3 years from 90, you better just, I do have to talk to the city attorney, but the rest of you, thank you all for who you are.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jerry. That's amazing.
Pretty amazing stuff.
So much information.
All right, item number 5, approve appointment of Pete Wingen, okay, as alternate member of the Code Enforcement Board. Pete, come on up. Wingen like engine.
There it is.
All right. All right, Pete,
How are you?
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, good. You came on a good night.
I guess so.
Yeah. Well, Pete, we appreciate you applying and wanting to serve on the board. We always ask folks that are new to come up and maybe share just a little bit about yourself.
My name is Peter Wingen. I live at 1805 Driftwood Circle North. I've been in the city for 4 years now. Moved here from Las Vegas. And I have a ginormous family that came with me, 4 children. And I'm in the aerospace field. So perfect place is Florida for that. So I figured that kind of goes hand in hand with each other for code enforcement and what I actually do. So I lead a team that rehabs navigational units for America's last line of defense, and we are very strict on what we do. Those rules are there for a reason. I figure I can move that to something else too.
Well, you got some board members sitting out here about to be reappointed. They're like, good. Well, Pete, we appreciate you stepping up. Does anybody have any questions?
How old are your children?
The oldest will be 12 this month. Youngest is 3.5.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wonderful.
Couple in between.
Wonderful.
Well, Go right ahead.
Did anything inspire you in particular to serve the city?
You know, I love this town. You know, I've always lived in ginormous towns where I'm just a number. And it's great to be in a small town like this. We fell in love with the house the moment we moved here. And it's just been excellent. And I love the town. I never want to leave. So I figured better way to do something for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Pete. Thanks for joining the team.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, Chair will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a motion, I have a second. I have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying Pete. Pete. All opposed, motion carries. You know, we didn't make you dance tonight,
You wouldn't want that anyways.
but you're a pretty big student. I thought I'm not going to press my luck, so.
Need a
Thank you.
partner, though.
Well, Katie's right over there. All right, we're going to move on. Thank you, sir.
Thank
Much
you for your
appreciated. Item number
service.
6, approve reappointment of Rita Clark, Reba Fitz, and Babe Wright to the Code Enforcement Board. I see Babe is here, which I appreciate you.
I was the only one that felt young enough to get out and come. I would like to also agree with Mrs. Gross that step at the park. 3 years ago at Easter Sunrise service, I fell off that thing and I still have a scar on my knee.
Oh, wow.
So it really has a problem.
Yeah, we'll make sure.
It's kind of a blind spot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So what do y'all want to know?
How long have you been?
Code board so long now, but we
long have
never
you-
have any meetings, so I don't
That's because
know.
nobody breaks the code, apparently.
Oh, no.
All right, that will not start. Well, thank you for your continued service as always and your counsel. I think a lot of folks know you've served the city in many different capacities, and so thank you for still being involved. Chair will entertain a motion to approve. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Thank you.
Thanks so much, babe.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion passes.
Thank you, babe.
All right, item number 6, approve moving Tatiana Cox Lopez to from alternate member to regular member for the Leisure Services Advisory Board. Chair will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a motion, I have a second. A motion and a second, discussion? Welcome aboard.
Yeah, welcome aboard.
Thank
All
you.
in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Jerry.
All right, next item, City Attorney,
Nothing, thank you.
City Manager,
Nothing, thank you.
City Clerk,
Nothing, thank you.
City Council, nothing, forget that. Figured I'd press my luck on that one, but, all right. So next item on the agenda, item number 8, schedule work session for capital improvement budget. City Manager, I know you had some dates. You want to kind of give us where things stand on that?
It looks like April 26th, Tuesday, April 26th may work for everyone's schedule. Councilmember Saraki is,
That's fine, yeah.
Okay. We in agreement with that? That work?
Yes, sir.
All right, very good.
At 2 o'clock?
What time?
2 p.m.?
2 p.m.
2.
Tuesday at 2.
All right, council comments. I'm going to start with Councilmember Cannon.
Well, thank you, Mayor. It's been a busy couple of weeks. I want to keep it short, but I do want to make it a point to mention a couple of things. The Oldsmar Cares Gala, the Alice in Wonderland themed gala last Thursday evening was a wonderful event, a fabulous opportunity to give back to our community and to an entity that gives back for us. It was a whole lot of people in attendance. I don't know what the final numbers were. Perhaps you
I haven't heard the final
haven't
one.
heard
I heard
yet?
it was really good, though.
There were a lot of people there, and it was just a lot of fun and good to see everybody out that evening. And I think that my hat really should have won over Beavis' paper bag, but that's just, anyway. Friday night, family game night. Wow. Chip's not here this evening, but what a hit. I got so much feedback from parents of kids in our area from all different areas, from Harbor Palms area, mom over in Forest Lakes, and another mom in the downtown area. And all of them said, can we please make this quarterly or semi-quarterly or do this, a couple more times a year? If you weren't there, it was really cool. Giant Jenga, jousting. There was a food truck. It was just a huge hit. And I think that I've heard a rumor that perhaps it might be coming back more frequently. So I was really delighted to hear that. And then, of course, on Saturday, we were all out except for Andrew, who had his daughter's second birthday party at opening day for Little League, which was a fantastic event. I had the opportunity to throw the first softball pitch. The mayor threw the first baseball pitch, and we welcomed all of the young kids as they do their team cheer at home plate. Just a really cool and fun event. So I thank the parents and all the folks at Little League who work so hard to keep things going, keep things organized, and making sure that the kids are having a good time learning and participating. It's just wonderful to see. Looking forward to the capital improvement meeting. I've got a couple of things I intend to potentially add to our list. And I hope to see everybody over at the Mardi Gras event after the council meeting. And lastly, I just wanted to say that it has been my absolute honor to serve with each of you up here. I wish everyone the very best of luck in the upcoming election. And I really appreciate the opportunity to be here and to work alongside you guys. So thank you so much, Mayor.
Very nice. Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few things. As you all know, I was not present at the last meeting because I was up in Tallahassee with the Leadership Pinellas group, class of 2021. We don't really have a name. It's not the best class ever. It's, we just do our own thing.
Wow.
We've embraced it. No, it's universal.
Have a theme.
But it was a really good trip. We had a chance to have different sessions or interfacing with Senator Hooper, as well as Representatives Latvala and Speaker Sprowls. So I just wanted to say thank you to them for hosting us up there. Florida League of Cities also had us for a session as well. So it was really good for our group, as it is every year. They are beginning recruitment for the next class, which will be of 2022. So there are some sessions out there now for Leadership Pinellas. The next thing, I'm sure some of you have probably had seen it in the social media circles or talking to other folks in the city relative to the issues surrounding adolescents on bicycles in the streets. I personally, I don't know what, there's nothing that we can do sitting up here probably to figure it out. Perhaps there is, but it still seems to be a problem that's prevalent and has found its way to the other side of the highway. So much so that I think there was a group of kids riding, it was either along Pine or in one of the neighborhoods with no headlights on in the street at night, and pretty much doing the same playing chicken type thing. It's gotten to the point where there's residents within my neighborhood that they're not only dealing with them out on the streets, but they're now beginning to start to harass people that have called them out for doing things. And it's probably not all of them that are out riding, but it worries me, and I just don't know what the right thing is, whether it's bringing up an agenda item to talk through ideas. I know it was brought up in the past about trying some way to have some way to promote the some sort of event or video for the kids. I think, Mayor, you had brought that up previously. So I'd really like to see, something that can help, divert their attention or their energy of what they're doing to something that's not going to be causing issues for other kids that would get involved with that, or, adults having to deal with that. So I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention because it's definitely seems to have moved around a little bit, and I think it's something that we probably can, I hope we can find some way to make it better. So I just wanted to bring that up. Other news on the north side of Tampa Road, Douglas Road has been moving along pretty smoothly. I'm in and out of that area all the time for work, and I just wanted to comment and say that the crews out there working right now are doing a real good job with managing the traffic over there. There's trucks in and out all the time, and they're closing the north side of the road right now intermittently for some of the work they're doing. So it's really exciting to see that move along and eventually get our trail set up over there to go east-west. just want to echo what Councilmember Gannon said about the upcoming election. I wish both of y'all the best of luck. Unfortunately, you both can't win, so as well as our C2 candidates that aren't here with us this evening. So looking forward to seeing the results. I'm sure everybody will be looking forward to a big sigh of relief come 2 weeks from now. And then finally, as you know, I've shared with everybody here before, just to keep in mind that I may have another absence sometime in June for Baby Watch. So just keep that in mind, and have to be on the close ringer to see what happens. And it will be a baby boy this time. So
Oh, there you go.
that name finally gets to live on.
All right.
That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Congratulations. Councilmember Graber.
Practically everything's been mentioned. Oldsmar in Orbit on Saturday morning is going to be a fantastic event. I know Felicia's been, and the rest of the staff, just working tirelessly on it. So thank you, Felicia. My daughter and I are definitely going. Sunset Sounds, Touch a Truck, so many different things going on. Of course, the apparently an election that is going to be out of this world. 2 weeks. Thank you both. You've both been mentors to me, and we've become friends, and we're certainly colleagues because we sit up here. I mean, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Best of luck to each of you, and to Jared and to Mayor Beavis. Best of luck to them. That's all I had, Mayor. Thank you.
Very good. Councilmember Saraki.
Thank you, Mayor. I got a couple things. First thing I want to say is the bikes. A couple neighbors in Harbor Palms have complained. They've moved to Sheffield Park. So last night we were playing hockey, and they all came to the hockey rink for the first time. Now I play on Mondays and Thursdays. All the kids showed up on their bikes. So I went over, during intermission, I went over to the kids and I said, hey, just like Andrew just said, let's divert their energy. I invited them to play. One of the rules is they have to be 16 years old. So there's only 4 of them that are 16. So I said, look, I'll help you guys get hockey sticks and let you guys come in and try to play with us. They sound like they're interested. So I told them, I invited them back for Thursday night hockey, so I'm trying to divert that energy that Andrew's talking about to try to get them on the hockey rink, to get those kids off the street. I think it's an idea, it's a plan, we'll see what happens. All we can do is try, right? That's the first thing. Second thing I want to bring up is, Katie, you covered a bunch of stuff that we all attended. It was great being at the Oldsmar Cares Gala, all the stuff. There's a resident, I don't know if you guys know him or not, Dale Beaker died. He passed away the other night. Unfortunately, his family's lived on Country Club for years. He's an old-time family resident. Really, my heart goes out to the family. He's been a friend of mine for about 5 years now. I know his parents. I know all the people his family on the street. And I just want to say my condolences to the family. Paul and I, our prayers are with you guys. I'm sorry for that sudden loss. It just happened suddenly, and he was only 45 years old. Last thing I want to say is I've been sitting in this seat, believe it or not, for 7 years. This seat right here, 7 years. And what comes to mind when I say that, it's hard to believe that Janice Miller's been gone for over 7 years, because I took her seat 7 years ago. Abby, Linda, Doug, Jerry Beverland, and Bruce were the team when I first sat in this seat. Every seat in this council has changed, but Tom, who still sits next to me, Ann and Kathy, everything else has changed. I've been blessed with so much. I'm very thankful. The people and the friendships have been limitless. In 2 weeks, something will change. Only our Lord knows what will happen. The people of Oldsmar must get out and vote. Mayor, whatever happens, I truly believe you're a great friend. I love everyone up here on the council. I think you're all great people, and I think you're going to do great things for our city. I respect all of you, and I thank you for all your hard work. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, well, everybody has pretty well covered the gala, the game night, which was a lot of fun. Got a lot of great feedback on that. An opening day at Little League. I'm just gonna say, there's always a little pressure getting that ball over the plate. So I was pretty happy about that. On the bike front, you know, I think part of the planning process this time around should include diligence on that subject. You know, is there something we can do, you know, to Dan's point, getting them involved in some of the other activities we have here. You know, we all expect for our BMX track to open back up. Maybe that's the transition that's more natural for them because they like bikes and they like the adrenaline. And maybe that becomes a real driver for us to try to incorporate that. Yeah. And so certainly that is a direction to go in. Just a reminder, of course, Friends of the Arts Mardi Gras is going on right now. Should be on for another hour, so it looks like we're all going to be able to make it over there. Who can make it? I don't know everybody's plans. And I heard about Mr.
Dale.
Yeah, Dale, and I heard about it over the course of the weekend, and that's such a tragic loss so suddenly.
Yeah.
He had recently been talking to me about the boat ramp. I know he's probably talking to you about that as well, and he's, yeah, so, you know, on behalf of the city, condolences absolutely to the family. I think we're all about politicked out, you know? Yeah. I mean, I'm just gonna talk as plain as possible. I do wanna say, and I posted this on social media, but, you know, I've heard this a couple times. The density incentive, it does not change the density down here or allow for 12-story buildings. We all know that, right? I mean, so just if you've heard that, that's inaccurate information. And I would encourage you to go to downtown Oldsmar and read up on all the facts of it. So I'm just gonna kind of leave that at that. And certainly, there is an elections, I've been told, that's coming up pretty soon. And I think the entire town has election fatigue. You know, which is pretty typical for where we're at right about now. The next 2 weeks will go by like this. And, you know, when it's over, no matter who is successful in those elections, we go back to a lot of normalcy very quick. The city's been through this multiple times where, you know, people are passionate about their city. And that falls certainly where they're passionate about elections, which is part of what makes this city so great. You know, people care, you know, it matters to them. And so what I will say, good luck to the candidates. I'll say to Councilmember Saraka, we've served and done a lot of good things for the city together. One thing's for sure, at the next meeting, one of us won't be serving, right? And so whatever that case might be, certainly, I am glad that we've been able to spend the time together. We've had a lot of laughs, done a lot of good things. And so that's the kind of community that we are. That matters most. At the end of the day, I think everybody is very passionate and just loves our city. So, so there you have it. All right, that's all I got. And I'm going to move right along into item number 10 to approve the tentative agenda for March 22nd, 2022 council meeting. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I should ask anyone wish to pull anything. Nope. All right. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second? Second. Motion is second. Discussion? Sensing you're ready to vote, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I have a motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Doesn't require a vote. No discussion.